There are days when you wake up ready to conquer the world, and then there are days when you can't even look in the mirror. Days when your mind whispers, not today, and your heart starts to believe it. But listen to me carefully. Those are the days that define who you really are. Because anyone can follow the plan when it feels good, when energy is high and motivation is burning. But the real ones, the disciplined ones, they follow the plan when their mood is dead, when their body aches, and when the world feels against them. Your mood is a liar. It changes with sleep, weather, people, and pain. But your plan is the truth. It's the promise you made to yourself when you were strong, when you had vision. If you keep breaking that promise every time you don't feel like it, then what are you really worth? You will never build greatness on emotions. You will build it on discipline. Every legend you admire wasn't driven by mood. They were fueled by consistency. So stop negotiating with your feelings, show up, execute, rise above the weakness of temporary emotion, and live by the power of permanent purpose. Discipline outlasts motivation. Those 4 words are the foundation of every success story, every transformation, every victory that has ever mattered. Motivation is easy to find. It's everywhere. It's in the music that fires you up, in the quotes you scroll through late at night, in the speeches that make your heart race for a few minutes. Motivation feels powerful, but it fades. It's like a spark that burns bright for a moment, then disappears the second life gets uncomfortable. Discipline, on the other hand, is the quiet force that keeps moving when everything else stops. It doesn't care about how you feel. It doesn't need energy, excitement, or perfect conditions. Discipline is doing what needs to be done even when you don't want to do it. And that's what separates the average from the unstoppable. There will be mornings when you wake up tired, unmotivated, and frustrated. The alarm will go off and your first instinct will be to hit snooze. Motivation won't save you in that moment, but discipline will. Discipline will whisper, get up, you made a promise to yourself. It will drag you out of bed when your body begs for comfort. It will remind you that every time you choose comfort, you choose to stay the same. And every time you choose discipline, you choose growth. That's why the greatest people on earth, athletes, soldiers, leaders, creators, aren't chasing motivation. They're ruled by discipline. They've trained their minds to obey the plan, not the mood. Motivation is emotional. Discipline is logical. Motivation asks, do I feel like it today? Discipline answers, it doesn't matter. Motivation depends on external triggers: music, praise, success, excitement. Discipline comes from within. It's built through repetition, through doing what's hard over and over until it becomes automatic. Think of it like a muscle. Every time you push yourself to do something you don't feel like doing, you strengthen that muscle. You rewire your mind to follow through. And one day, you won't need to rely on inspiration to act. You'll just act because it's who you become. That's the power of discipline. The truth is, motivation makes you feel good, but discipline makes you powerful. Motivation can start the fire, but only discipline keeps it burning. Motivation is what gets you to the gym once. Discipline is what keeps you there for years. Motivation helps you start a project. Discipline makes sure you finish it. Motivation might help you write the first chapter of your story, but discipline ensures the whole book gets written. Every single success, every dream realized comes down to how consistently you can move forward when the excitement dies. Because it will die. That's guaranteed. Life will test you with boredom, failure, exhaustion, and doubt. And when it does, you'll see who you really are. Not when you're inspired, but when you're empty. Discipline outlasts motivation because it's rooted in commitment, not emotion. Motivation comes and goes with your mood, but commitment doesn't care about your feelings, it only cares about your word. You either keep it or you don't. Discipline means keeping that word no matter what, no matter the pain, no matter the fatigue, no matter how unfair life feels. It means showing up for yourself even when no one's watching, even when there's no applause, even when progress feels invisible, because discipline knows that every rep, every step, every small act compounds into something massive over time. It's not about perfection, it's about persistence. It's about doing the right thing 1,000 times until success becomes unavoidable. When you rely on motivation, you live reactively. You move when you feel good and you stop when you don't. But when you rely on discipline, you live proactively. You move regardless of how you feel. You take control. You stop being a victim of your emotions. And that's where real power begins, because emotions will betray you. They'll tell you you're too tired, too late, too far behind, too unworthy. But discipline silences those voices. It says, I don't care how I feel. I care about who I'm becoming. That's the mindset of champions. That's the mindset of someone who wins in the long game. The funny thing is, the more disciplined you become, the less you need motivation. You start to crave the grind, the structure, the challenge. You realize that comfort is a trap and struggle is the path. You stop chasing the temporary high of feeling good and start chasing the permanent satisfaction of progress. And the more consistent you are, the more momentum you build. You start trusting yourself. You start believing that no matter how bad a day gets, you'll still show up. That belief becomes your armor. That's when nothing can stop you, because discipline doesn't break when life gets tough. It gets sharp. Discipline isn't about punishment. It's about freedom. It frees you from the chaos of relying on fleeting motivation. It frees you from procrastination, self-doubt, and regret. It gives you control over your destiny. Most people live in cycles of motivation and burnout. They start strong, then quit, then start again, and spend years wondering why nothing changes. But the disciplined person keeps going even when it's boring, even when progress is invisible, even when no one cares. And that's why, while others are still getting ready, the disciplined ones are already winning. So understand this. Motivation will come and go like the tide, but discipline will anchor you through every storm. The person who can stay consistent when motivation dies is the one who will outlast everyone else. You don't need to feel like it. You don't need to wait for the perfect moment. You just need to act every single day, no matter what. Because discipline doesn't ask for permission. It demands results. And when the world sees what consistent effort can create, it will call you lucky. But you'll know it wasn't luck. It was discipline. Always discipline. Mood is temporary, but your plan is eternal. Your mood changes like the weather, shifting, unpredictable, and never meant to last. Some mornings you wake up feeling unstoppable, ready to take on the world, ready to give everything you have. And other days you wake up heavy, drained, unmotivated, and lost. That's human. That's normal. But here's the problem. Too many people allow their entire life to be controlled by those temporary emotions. They make decisions based on feelings that will be gone in an hour. They quit dreams because of a single bad day. They abandon plans because motivation fades. And then they wonder why their life never changes. Your mood is a moment. Your plan is a mission. You can't let something temporary decide the fate of something permanent. When you made your plan, you did it from a place of clarity, vision, and strength. You wrote it down because you knew what you wanted. You felt a fire inside you that told you this is your path. That plan came from your higher self, the version of you that sees beyond the pain and the noise. But your mood doesn't care about that. It only cares about comfort, about the present moment, about what feels easy right now. And if you keep listening to your mood, it will keep talking you out of your destiny. Your mood will whisper, rest today, you can try again tomorrow. And that tomorrow becomes a lifetime of waiting. Your plan, however, will keep reminding you of what truly matters. It will stand as a reminder of who you said you'd become, of the standard you promised to uphold. Mood is driven by emotion, by fatigue, by environment. It's fragile. A single comment, a bad sleep, a setback, suddenly your entire energy changes. That's why you can't trust it. Because if your success depends on whether you feel ready, you'll never be consistent. The truth is, you'll never always feel like it. You'll never have endless energy, endless confidence, or endless motivation. But your plan doesn't require that. Your plan only requires obedience. It only asks you to show up again and again, no matter the mood, because your plan is eternal. It's not about how you feel today. It's about who you want to be 10 years from now. Think about it. The most successful people you've ever admired didn't build their lives based on how they felt each day. They built them by following a plan that outlived every emotion. They had days when they doubted everything. They had days when they felt weak, scared, angry, or unworthy, but they still moved forward. They didn't trust their mood. They trusted their mission. They understood that emotions are just passing clouds, and the plan is the sky. You don't stop because the weather changes. You keep moving because the destination's still the same. Every time you act based on mood, you weaken your character. Every time you act based on your plan, you strengthen your foundation. Your plan is like a compass. It doesn't move just because you feel lost. It stays steady, pointing toward your goal, waiting for you to find your way back. That's why discipline matters more than feeling inspired. The mood says, I'm tired. The plan says, do it anyway. The mood says, it's not working. The plan says, trust the process. The mood says, you're not good enough. The plan says, keep building. You must learn to silence that emotional noise and follow the blueprint you created when you were clear-headed and determined. Your mood is built on the moment. Your plan is built on meaning. Mood lives in the now, but the plan lives in your future. When you live by your mood, you live short-term. You make choices that feel good today, but hurt tomorrow. But when you live by your plan, you make choices that may hurt today, but pay off forever. That's why most people fail. They chase what feels good instead of what is good. They seek comfort, not growth. But growth never comes from comfort. It comes from consistency. It comes from sticking to the plan even when your mood screams against it. The day you stop letting your mood control your actions is the day you take full control of your life. Because your mood will always look for excuses. Tired, sad, lazy, overwhelmed, anxious. There will always be a reason to stop. But your plan doesn't care. It's not emotional. It's logical. It's your commitment carved into time. The more you honor it, the more you build self-trust. The more you build self-trust, the more powerful you become. Because once you start trusting yourself to do what needs to be done, regardless of how you feel, nothing can break you. You become unshakable. You must understand that your mood is a test. It's life asking, how badly do you want it? When you follow your plan, despite being tired, bored, or afraid, you're proving that your purpose is stronger than your emotions. That's when growth happens. Every time you push through, you evolve. Every time you follow your plan, on a bad day, you train your mind to obey your purpose instead of your pain. That's how champions are made. Not through hype or constant motivation, but through unbreakable consistency. So stop waiting to feel right before you move. Stop expecting to wake up motivated every morning. It won't happen. Move even when it's dark. Work even when it's silent. Keep following the path you set when your vision was clear, because one day your results will speak louder than your moods ever could. One day you'll look back and realize that every battle you fought against your emotions made you stronger. Every time you refused to quit, you built a version of yourself that can't be shaken by mood swings, criticism, or failure. Your plan is your legacy. It's the written proof of your intention to create something meaningful. Moods fade, feelings change, people come and go, but your plan, your mission stays. It's the anchor that holds you steady through the chaos of life. Guard it, protect it, follow it relentlessly. Because your mood may lie to you 1,000 times, but your plan will always lead you home. Emotion destroys consistency and control it, and obey it. Your emotions are powerful, unpredictable forces that can either push you forward or tear your life apart. They can give you energy, passion, and fire when used correctly, but they can also blind you, weaken you, and make you abandon everything you built if you let them take control. The truth is, emotion is not your enemy, it's your test. It's the battle between who you are and who you're trying to become. Everyone feels anger, fear, sadness, excitement, doubt, and anxiety. But what separates the strong from the weak, the winners from the quitters, is who learns to control those emotions instead of obeying them. Because once emotion takes over, logic disappears. And when logic disappears, consistency dies. Consistency is the heartbeat of success. It's what turns average people into unstoppable forces. It's showing up day after day no matter what's happening in your head. But emotion doesn't care about consistency. Emotion wants reaction, not reflection. It wants you to snap when you should stay calm, quit when you should keep going, rest when you should rise. Emotion is impulsive. It makes you do what feels right now instead of what's actually right. That's why so many people start something strong, whether it's a business, fitness journey, or personal goal, and fall apart the moment things get uncomfortable. They allow emotion to dictate their behavior instead of their commitment. They trade progress for comfort and wonder why their dreams always slip through their hands. Every time you let emotion take the wheel, you lose control of the path. Anger makes you say things that destroy relationships. Fear makes you miss opportunities. Laziness convinces you that tomorrow is a better day to start. Frustration makes you quit halfway through. All these emotions feel real in the moment, but they are temporary storms passing through your mind. If you act on them, you give them power they don't deserve. But if you control them, if you learn to pause, breathe, and think before reacting, you gain strength most people never will. Because control is the foundation of power. You can't control life, but you can control your reactions to it. And that control is what keeps you consistent when everything else falls apart. Emotion wants chaos, but consistency demands discipline. Discipline is the voice that says, I know you're angry, but stick to the plan. It's the calm inside the storm, the reminder that your feelings don't define your destiny, your actions do. Emotion screams for immediate relief, discipline whispers for long-term reward. The more you obey emotion, the more unpredictable your life becomes. You'll rise and fall with every mood swing, living in cycles of motivation and regret. But the more you control emotion, the more stable your path becomes. You stop reacting to every trigger. You stop wasting energy on drama, doubts, and distractions. You focus on what truly matters, executing your mission. Think about the greatest athletes, entrepreneurs, or warriors in history. They all felt emotion. They felt fear before battles, anger during defeats, and doubt in their darkest hours. But they didn't obey those emotions. They used them. They turned fear into focus, pain into power, anger into drive. They learned to channel emotional energy toward their purpose instead of letting it destroy their progress. That's what emotional control really is. It's not suppression, it's redirection. It's using what you feel as fuel, not fire. When you learn that skill, your consistency becomes unshakable because nothing can break a person who has mastered their own mind. Emotion is like a wild horse. It's strong, unpredictable, and dangerous if left untamed. But once you learn to control it, it becomes a weapon. It becomes the energy that pushes you through exhaustion, the force that keeps you fighting when others give up. The problem is that most people let emotion ride them instead of learning to ride it. They let anger guide their words, sadness define their worth, fear dictate their potential. And because of that, they live in constant instability. Up one day, down the next, motivated today, hopeless tomorrow. You can't build greatness on that kind of foundation. You can't trust emotion to lead you anywhere consistent because it doesn't care about your future, it only cares about the moment. To build anything meaningful, you have to be stronger than your emotions. You have to develop emotional discipline, the ability to feel deeply but act wisely. It means being aware of your feelings but not being ruled by them. It means training yourself to pause before you react, to think before you speak, to stay focused even when your emotions are screaming for distraction. Every time you win that battle, you build mental armor. You become more stable, more reliable, more dangerous in the best way, because the world is full of people who can't control themselves, and the person who can becomes unstoppable. Emotional control is not about being cold or robotic. It's about choosing direction over reaction. It's about mastering yourself so thoroughly that no emotion, no fear, no anger, no sadness can make you break your own code. Because once you break consistency, it's hard to rebuild it. Your mind remembers every time you gave in. It remembers when you chose comfort over discipline. And each time you do that, you weaken your self-respect. But when you resist, when you stay consistent, even when emotions rage inside you, you strengthen your character. You teach your mind that you're in charge. That's how you grow. That's how you evolve into the kind of person who doesn't need motivation. They operate on principle. Life will always test your emotions. You'll face betrayal, failure, stress, and uncertainty. There will be days when everything in you wants to explode or give up. That's when your emotional control is tested most. Can you stay calm when everything burns? Can you think clearly when you're angry? Act logically when you're afraid? Move forward when you're heartbroken? That's the difference between winners and everyone else. Winners don't let emotions decide their actions. They let principles decide. They feel the same pain, but they act differently. And because of that, they stay consistent when others crumble. So remember this, emotion is powerful, but it's not permanent. Feel it, understand it, then control it. Don't obey it. Your feelings are valid, but they are not commands. You are not your anger. You are not your fear. You are the person who chooses what to do with them. The moment you take control of that truth, you become dangerous, you become consistent, you become free. Because emotion destroys consistency, but only if you let it. Success respects structure, not feelings. The world doesn't reward emotion, it rewards execution. It doesn't care how tired you were, how unmotivated you felt, or how many times you told yourself you'd start tomorrow. Success bows only to those who follow a system, a plan, a structure that is stronger than their mood swings. Feelings are temporary. Structure is eternal. The people who rise above the rest are not the ones who feel good all the time. They're the ones who show up with or without excitement, with or without comfort, and execute the structure they committed to. Feelings come and go like the tide, but structure stays firm like the shoreline. If you want consistent results, you need a consistent process, not a fluctuating mood. Feelings are seductive. They convince you that you need to be inspired to work, that you need to feel ready before taking action. That's a lie. Readiness is a myth. No one ever feels ready to start something hard, to take a risk, to face discomfort. The people who succeed aren't the ones who wait for readiness. They are the ones who create it by sticking to their structure no matter what. Success doesn't grow from emotion. It grows from discipline and repetition. You can't cry your way to progress. You can't wish your way to results. You can only work your way there through a system that doesn't bend with your emotions. Look at anyone who's achieved greatness in any field. Athletes, entrepreneurs, artists, soldiers, leaders. They don't rely on how they feel today. They rely on the systems they built to keep them consistent. The athlete doesn't ask, do I feel like training? They train because it's scheduled. The entrepreneur doesn't say, I'll work when I'm in the mood. They follow the plan because that's what success demands. The soldier doesn't say, I'm too tired for discipline. They execute orders because structure is survival. That's how real success is built, not by following emotion, but by submitting to structure. Structure is the truth that cuts through the chaos of emotion. Feelings can lie to you. They tell you it's okay to rest today when you haven't earned it. They tell you you're not good enough, that progress is too slow, that maybe this isn't for you. But structure doesn't lie. It's black and white. Either you did what needed to be done or you didn't. It's honest. That honesty can be uncomfortable, but it's what keeps you accountable. Without structure, you drift. Without structure, you spend your life chasing emotions that never stay long enough to build anything real. Structure is what builds foundations. Feelings build nothing but excuses. The problem is that people want freedom without discipline. They want success without sacrifice. But success only gives itself to those who respect order. The order of effort, the order of consistency, the order of time. Structure is what creates freedom. When your life has structure, you're in control. When your life is led by emotion, you're a slave to chaos. Every time you obey your feelings instead of your structure, you lose control of your destiny. You let your temporary mood decide your permanent outcome. That's why so many people fail. They allow emotion to override system, and they call it being human. But being truly human means mastering your nature, not obeying it. Structure turns dreams into results. You can dream all you want, but without structure, those dreams stay fantasies. Success isn't about what you want, it's about what you consistently do. A structured person doesn't rely on motivation. They rely on the calendar, the checklist, the process. They understand that discipline beats inspiration every single time. They build routines that make success automatic. Because when your actions are guided by structure, not emotion, you don't have to think about doing the work. You just do it. You stop negotiating with yourself. You stop living on the edge of procrastination. You move from reaction to execution. Feelings are fragile. They can change in a second. Someone says something negative and your motivation vanishes. You get small setback and suddenly your energy dies. That's why structure is vital. It protects you from emotional collapse. It gives you something to hold on to when everything feels heavy. It's the lighthouse that keeps you steady when the sea of emotion tries to drown you. Without it, you're at the mercy of your feelings, tossed around by every wave of doubt, fear, and fatigue. But with structure, you have direction. You have a roadmap. You don't need to feel great. You just need to follow the map. Structure is what separates amateurs from professionals. Amateurs work when it's convenient. Professionals work when it's time. Amateurs are emotional. Professionals are systematic. The difference isn't talent, it's structure. You can have all the talent in the world, but without consistency, it means nothing. And you can have average talent, but with structure, you can outperform almost everyone. Because success doesn't care who feels more passionate, it cares who executes more precisely. Passion is the fire that starts you. Structure is the container that keeps it burning. Without structure, that fire burns out fast. Every time you break your structure, you train your mind to distrust yourself. Every time you keep it, you build self-respect. You prove that your word means something. That's how confidence is born. Not from hype or compliments, but from structure. Knowing that you can rely on yourself, even when emotions fluctuate, gives you power that no external motivation can provide. That's real strength. And when you operate from that strength, life bends to your will. You stop chasing opportunities, not creating them. Because the universe rewards consistency, and consistency can only come from structure. Feelings are noise, structure is music. Feelings make you reactive, structure makes you strategic. Feelings come from your heart, structure comes from your discipline, and discipline will always win. The person who respects structure doesn't live in chaos, they live with clarity, purpose, and results. And the person who ignores structure in favor of emotion lives in cycles. Starting, stopping, and never truly building. So when your feelings tell you to quit, to rest, to wait for a better time, remember this: success doesn't care how you feel today. It only cares what you do today. Build your structure, follow it, protect it, and you'll realize one thing: feelings fade, but structure creates legacies. The strongest version of you is born in discomfort. Strength is not built in the moments when everything feels easy, smooth, and safe. It's born in the chaos, in the pain, in the uncertainty that forces you to grow or break. Comfort is the killer of greatness. It lulls you into stagnation, into mediocrity, into the illusion that you're improving just because you're surviving. But surviving isn't living. Strength is not about looking powerful, it's by becoming powerful through the trials that test your limits. Every time life gets uncomfortable, every time you're pushed beyond what feels manageable, you're being given a chance to evolve. That's where the strongest version of you is forged, not in happiness, not in ease, but in the fire of adversity. Discomfort is the universe's way of demanding your growth. It's a signal that you're stepping outside the boundaries of who you currently are. Most people run from it because discomfort hurts. It's exhausting. It challenges your beliefs, your habits, your patience, and your pride. But what they don't realize is that every second spent avoiding discomfort is a second spent avoiding strength. You don't grow by avoiding the storm. You grow by standing in it and refusing to be moved. Every hardship you've ever faced, every disappointment, every setback, every heartbreak, they all carried a lesson, a piece of armor meant to prepare you for what's next. But you can only claim that armor if you face the pain head on. If you numb it, escape it, or hide from it, you stay the same. Discomfort is not your enemy, it's your greatest teacher. It exposes weakness, it reveals what you still need to fix, what parts of your character still need sharpening. When you're too comfortable, you stop looking for improvement, you start protecting your ego instead of building your endurance. But discomfort humbles you. It strips away illusions and excuses. It forces you to confront your limits and either expand them or surrender to them. That's why the strongest version of you can never come from comfort, because comfort protects weakness. It whispers you're fine as you are. But the truth is you're not fine. You're unfinished. And the only way to finish becoming who you are meant to be is by embracing the pain that molds you. Think about it. The body grows stronger only when it's pushed beyond what it can currently handle. Muscles tear before they rebuild. Endurance is forged through exhaustion. The same principle applies to your mind, your spirit, and your life. When you challenge yourself, when you take risks, when you face fears, when you endure struggle, you are training the unseen parts of yourself. You're building emotional muscle, mental toughness, spiritual resilience. You're learning to stay calm in chaos, to stay focused in doubt, to stay disciplined when everything screams to quit. That kind of strength doesn't come from reading books or watching motivational videos. It comes from doing, from suffering with purpose, from enduring discomfort with determination. The world has taught people to fear discomfort, to equate struggle with failure. But in reality, struggle is proof of progress. The pain you feel while improving is the pain of transformation. It's the discomfort of shedding your old self. The version of you that wants to stay comfortable must die for the stronger version to be born. You can't evolve without friction. You can't grow without pressure. Every diamond was once a piece of coal that refused to crumble under heat. Every warrior was once a scared soul that refused to run from battle. The same rule applies to you. You will not discover your strength until you are forced to use it. Discomfort will break you before it builds you. It will make you question everything, your worth, your path, your purpose. It will strip away your confidence, your certainty, your comfort zone. But once you endure it long enough, something incredible happens. Clarity. You begin to see what truly matters. You realize that pain doesn't destroy you, it refines you. You start trusting yourself because you've proven that you can survive the storm. You learn that comfort never gave you that trust, only struggle did. Every challenge you overcome adds another layer of strength, another piece of wisdom, another reason to keep going. That's why the strongest version of you is not the one who avoids pain, but the one who walks through it and comes out sharper, tougher, wiser. The truth is, growth hurts because it demands sacrifice. You must sacrifice laziness, excuses, comfort, and sometimes even people who keep you weak. You must be willing to feel the sting of failure, the loneliness of hard work, the exhaustion of relentless effort. But all that pain serves a purpose. It shapes you into someone unstoppable, someone who doesn't fear pressure but thrives under it. Someone who doesn't wait for ideal conditions but creates progress out of chaos. When you build that version of yourself, nothing external can destroy you because you've already endured the internal battles most people run from. The world doesn't hand out strength, it demands it. Every obstacle in your path is a challenge asking, how much are you willing to endure? The more you can handle discomfort, the more unbreakable you become. Weakness fades when it's exposed to struggle. Strength grows when it's demanded daily. That's why chasing comfort is a trap. Feels good now, but costs you later. Comfort gives you peace for a moment, but regret for a lifetime. Discomfort gives you pain for a moment, but pride for a lifetime. The choice is yours. When you learn to love discomfort, you become limitless. You stop seeing challenges as problems and start seeing them as opportunities. You stop fearing pain and start using it. You stop waiting for the perfect moment and start realizing that every difficult moment is the perfect one to grow. You start living instead of merely existing. Because the strongest version of you isn't somewhere in the future. It's buried deep within you right now, waiting to be uncovered through trials, through effort, through discomfort. So stop avoiding what hurts. Stop protecting yourself from growth. Every ounce of pain you endure with purpose becomes a brick in the foundation of your strength. Every moment you push past your comfort zone, you move closer to your true potential. The strongest version of you isn't the one that hides from difficulty, it's the one that stands tall in it. Discomfort is not the enemy, it's the birthplace of greatness. Embrace it, endure it, and watch yourself become everything you were meant to be. In the end, everything you've ever wanted, the strength, the peace, the success, the respect, it all waits for you on the other side of discomfort. Life will never hand it to you easily because easy things don't build powerful people. The pain, the struggle, the exhaustion, they're not punishments, they're invitations to rise. Every challenge that breaks you a little is shaping you a lot. Every moment that hurts is carving character into your soul. You are not meant to stay comfortable, you are meant to evolve. The strongest version of you is not born when things go right. It's born when everything goes wrong and you still refuse to give up. So stop searching for comfort and start chasing growth. Let the world test you, let pressure mold you, and let pain teach you. Because once you learn to stand firm in discomfort, life can't break you anymore. You become unshakable, you become unstoppable. Remember this, comfort creates average, but discomfort creates legends. The fire you fear is the same fire that forges greatness. So walk through it, bleed, sweat, struggle, and rise, because every moment of pain you endure is proof that you are becoming the strongest version of yourself.